Even though there's a million other videos you can watch, why do you want to hear us?
We're the best ones to watch. Because I'm funny as fuck. Boom, there you go.
I think, yeah, you're funny as shit.
Is Joe Rogan gonna talk about shitting on somebody's
podcast
chest?
To watch because we have different age groups. You're 18. Well, I guess me and Alex are kind of in the... You're right. He can speak to the old people.
Anyways.
All right. So you were saying...
By this loudmouth bitch.
Dude, what a piece of shit.
Come on, Kota, you need to just keep quiet, okay?
Yvonne, after what I just did to you, you don't have any reason to talk for the next 2 hours.
It was embarrassing.
It was embarrassing.
Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of What We Talk About. Today, one of the things that we've been thinking about a lot, being that it's a new year, we kind of touched on it on an earlier episode talking about goals, but we really wanted to dig deep and find out what it is that gives us the work ethic that we have to accomplish our goals, and what things we have accomplished, what we haven't. So we got my main man Alex and Kota. Let's start it off with just kind of telling people about what we've done that we've accomplished that's really big, and then we can talk about like our failures and what we think happened, you know, that caused us to fail, and what we think happened that helped us succeed. So let's have somebody jump in.
Talking about goals.
So let's have somebody jump in.
Yeah, let's do it. We can cut that out.
Oh shit.
All right, so Alex, let's hear from you. What do you think? What's happened this year that you are already succeeded in, or what's happened to you in the past that you have failed in?
I think the biggest thing for me, as far as like.
Sorry,
Well, you got haters.
I got a text from somebody who says, I remember when we used to play in my band and see who comes fast. We call them a rotten egg. And I just,
What?
I just got a random text. Oh shit. Alright, let's go.
Anyways, yeah, I think one thing that happened to me was honestly, it was freaking in football. I think I shocked myself. I guess I wouldn't say shock. Shock's not the right word. I proved myself right, if that makes sense. Because
For sure.
I even doubted whether or not I could play quarterback, like for real, in like a real like football situation. And I not only played quarterback pretty well, but I also ended up winning first team All-Pro for the ICFL. Pretty freaking awesome. Anyways,
Oh my god!
winning first team All-Pro for the ICFL I thought that was pretty cool.
So what's the ICFL?
ICFL is Idaho's Contact Football League. It's one of the semi-pro leagues around Idaho. It's mainly based out of Boise, but there's two different divisions. So they've got a East Division and a West Division. East is kind of like Idaho Falls, Burley, Logan, Utah. It's different places like that. And so for me to win
Nice, that's
first team
sick, man.
All-Pro in the East, I thought was pretty awesome. So, and like I said, I thought it was huge because I put a lot of work into it. Like, I mean, I was working out a lot, and I was just nonstop trying to watch film, and so for that to finally actually pay off was pretty awesome.
Well, that's pretty epic, I think, man. So, like, can you dig a little more into that? Because me being someone that doesn't play a lot of sports, I kind of want to know, like, what was it that you had to do to get yourself to actually work out? Because I feel like that's the hardest thing for most people, since everyone's trying to get fit, everyone wants to have a six-pack, but nobody can seem to actually do the work.
I mean, it all starts physically, first of all. Like, when I played quarterback probably 4 years ago, I was not in shape. I was like 210 pounds. And I literally, like, I would go to practice, right? I would go to practice. And, like, so my work ethic was never bad. It's not like I had a bad work ethic and that's why, and I got lazy. I mean, I did get lazy, but you get what I'm saying. Like, it's not like I started eating out and stuff like that just because I was like, oh, man, I just want to be a lazy motherfucker, you know? Like, I was doing it because of, I don't know. I kept telling myself, like, oh, man, I work hard enough that I deserve to be able to do whatever I want, whenever I want.
Right.
And so I was like, always eating fast food. I'd work out, and then I'd either work out at home, or if I was at football practice, and then I would go, and I'd literally go to like Burger King or McDonald's, and I'd be like, oh, I worked out today, so I gotta do this. And so like,
Right.
I always had an excuse to why I could work out. It was always like, oh yeah, I got to work out in today, so if I eat this, it's not like I'm going to gain anything from it. I've already worked off the calories that I'm, you know what I mean? So like, I always had an excuse for why I could go and I could eat fast food. So
you're saying that's what helped motivate you?
So what I'm saying though, well, in a way it actually was.
Because I'm like, that's kind of unusual.
Oh, shit,
but I mean, to each their own. I'm sure you're not the only person that's done that before. I think everyone has, where they're like, yeah, you know what? If I do this, at least I can, you know, eat what I want, not really have to change my lifestyle quite that much, and still be in decent shape.
I would say that it's like, it kind of motivated me in a way. Because honestly, what led me to actually start the journey of like getting in shape and actually legit working out was I looked in the mirror one day and I was like, holy shit, dude, that is not me. And like, I kept trying to talk myself out of the fact that I was like, there's no way that's me, dude. Like, I'm fucking way better than that. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree, for sure.
You know what? That's motivation right there.
Ladies, you guys feel unmotivated. Just remember that, yeah.
Oh,
Who's choking on something back there?
Sorry.
God,
Alex
dude,
was
Yvonne's
getting a little
pussy
hungry.
juice squirted in my mouth again. Fuck.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Is that what motivates you, pussy juice?
Yvonne says.
It is. It really is. I mean, if you are not motivated by somebody's pussy juice, then what are you doing? Like, what is your life about? You know what I mean?
Jeff Bezos.
All right. Well.
All right. Yeah. But anyways, eating out. Looked in the mirror and I literally saw myself and I just was like, I could not convince myself that was me. I was like, holy shit, dude. Like, you are fucking big. And then like literally I jumped on the scale, saw how fat I was, and I was like, yeah, dude, I'm fucking done. I'm gonna start working out. And literally that day I threw on a sweatshirt, dude, and I ran up and down my stairs and did like body weight workouts for like 2 hours, dude. Like, I was fucking exhausted. I was just dripping sweat. But I was like, I don't know, something about seeing myself like that, and then I was like, man, there's no wonder like why I was hurting all season long and why I felt so bad after every game. I'm like, look at, like, I'm not healthy. I'm not ready to take hits. Like, I actually was able to start working out, and I started doing HIIT workout, and I ended up, when I finished, I actually dropped down to 170 pounds. And it took me about a year to get there, so I went from 210 to 170 in about a year. And I don't know, man, like, something about looking in the mirror and you're just like, man, it's not good enough, it's not good enough. Because that's what I kept doing, is I'd look in the mirror and be like, nah, dude, you just got to keep working, dude, you're still fat. But like, I went to a football practice when I played for the Phoenix, and we were teaming up with the Mustangs. And literally everybody who I played football with before was like, holy shit, dude, like, you fucking lost so much weight, dude.
Yeah, they're like, you put in some fucking
Yeah,
work.
dude. And then what else kind of just made it all topped off was the fact that like they also were like not only saying that I lost a lot of weight and that I looked in shape, but they were like, dude, holy fuck, dude, like your speed has gotten like so much better, like all that stuff. You've gotten faster, like your closing speed's insane, like. And so that was kind of just the whole thing where I was like, all right, so clearly like it's working.
Right.
And so
People notice.
I just kept working, and it was like I didn't really care about playing quarterback per se. I just wanted to be able to play football and be healthy. And so yeah, I kept working, and then I was like, all right, well, I can't stay this size and keep taking the hits that I'm taking, because I got to have some muscle on me. So I ended up working out, doing a lot more weights and stuff like that, and it allowed me to put some muscle on, and then I jumped up to 185, and then from 185 I kept on going. And then
So, I kind of want to touch on something. So you were saying that you looked at yourself in the mirror and you were like so unhappy that it motivated you, right? So I feel two ways about that, because that was one of the reasons like why I had gotten motivated before. So I'm gonna like kind of tell my story a little bit here for a second. I weigh like what, 230 right now. I pretty much weigh what I weighed like 7 years ago when I had this huge like burst of like motivation, right? And I lost, I dropped to like, I think my lightest weight ever that I've ever like weighed myself in at was 169. And I look now at like where I'm at, and being the same weight, I'm not motivated the same way anymore. Like, I honestly don't really care. I'm comfortable where I am. I'm happy. I don't feel like I have to have a six-pack. So I'm touching on that because I feel like what really motivated me at the time to be able to just commit to a routine every single day, not fuck up, eat literally the same thing almost every single day, like in routine. I had my breakfast, it was oatmeal. Every 2.5 hours I had a meal, well, a snack. So 2.5 hours later from my oatmeal, I'd have like an apple. 2.5 hours later, I'd have a salad with chicken or a tuna. I didn't eat anything that was wheat. I didn't eat dairy. It was only veggies, fruits, and meats, like fish or poultry. I didn't really have any like red meats in there just because of like, it just takes your body long to digest, and you can get just as much protein from chicken and whatnot. But you know what I really think it was that pushed me to want to do that? Because I can look at myself right now. I weigh the same, and sometimes I'm like, I mean, I could lose an extra 30 pounds and I'd be really fucking happy with where I'm at. But what I think at the time, what really got me to take action, and I think this is probably something that I think a lot of people can relate to, or not. I don't know. You guys let me know. I don't know if you guys can comment on, right, you can comment on YouTube and some other channels, but there's other podcasts that you can't. But anyways, what I think really pushed me was a breakup that I had. And I wanted to be so successful that that person would regret breaking up. I don't know if you guys have ever felt that way, but I'm pretty sure that was a big part of my motivation at the time. I wanted to use the idea of like success as revenge on somebody.
Bro, I know exactly.
And I was not gonna fail. I think that's what it was that really like kind of pushed me over the edge and just made me like do everything I could to make it happen. And I did. I went straight for like almost. Oh wow, great, thanks. I think, yeah, like 6 months to a year straight, I didn't have one bite of sugar for at least 6 months. I was like rejecting everybody, even if it was a special occasion. I didn't care. Sorry. If you are trying to get me to eat this out of like, oh, it's okay, man. One thing isn't going to hurt you. It's all good. Just have some. It would almost offend me. I was like, you clearly like don't respect me because I'm telling you this is what I'm trying to do and you're still trying to push that on me. You know what I mean? Like to the point where I was almost like rude. Some people would, you know, take offense to that. But I was just so about it. I didn't care. I was like, it's me or you, and it's me. You know what I mean?
It's me or you, and it's me. That doesn't sound like much of a choice. Like
Exactly. Yeah, so it was pretty hardcore, you know? There was some anger in that motivation. So I guess I would say to people who are trying to take action, find something that just like really brings emotion out of you to get yourself to do it. If it's that hard, you know what I mean? Like if you really need something to help get you over that edge or whatever it is, you got to find something that just like burns inside of you, and you have to use that.
So, one thing I kind of want to hear about is I kind of want to hear from Kota. Because I know Kota right now, you said you're doing like a diet or something?
Yeah, shit's absolutely trash. Hate it.
Yeah, they're challenging, man. What are you doing?
Well, I'll start with my story first, but so basically, the reason I'm motivated right now is football, just like Alex. It wasn't like a contact football, because I don't know. I'm definitely not in shape for contact football. I was barely in a good enough shape for flag football, but I had like the best hands. I had like the best fundamentals, and like with like the talent I had, I should have had like the best stats. It should have been like a good team. Fuck you, Ali.
Did you say you had the best ass?
Oh, I definitely
support
did,
that
for sure.
one.
Amen, dude. I had that cake.
That's pretty motivating.
It is. When you got the best ass, that's a lot of pressure to maintain, and I had to maintain that shit.
That's fucking funny.
But I should have had like the best stats. But realistically, I went into like the season, I was like, oh, I'm gonna make like one-hand touchdowns, shit like that. Going to the season, my first game didn't have a single catch. My second game, I had one catch. Third game, I had 2-point conversion. Throughout the entire 7 games, I didn't have a single touchdown. And it wasn't because I wasn't good enough at catching. I didn't have any drops. I didn't have any like, bad plays. I just wasn't fast enough and I wasn't strong enough. So I was, but like a few months before that, I decided like me, Alex, Braxton, David, you know, friends and family of ours were like working out. I got down. I lost like 15, 20 pounds in like a month because I was just eating chicken and potatoes every day.
Shit, I remember that. Wasn't it? That was just last summer, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was in August, and the season started in October, the football season. So if I would have kept at it, I probably would have been in good enough shape to where I could have like just dominated it. But I gave up because I was going through like moving. I was moving in with David. And, like after we moved in, we just all kind of like gave up on it.
So you guys know David's just one
Why?
of my friends.
What do you think that is that like made you guys give up? Like the fact that now you're with friends, you're happy, you guys are like doing
I think
other
like there was
shit,
just
don't
so
care
much
anymore.
going on. I don't know why everybody else gave up, but for me it was so much going on because I just started a new job. I was just moving out for the first time. I'm barely 18 years old. I just moved out. That's a lot of shit going on for once, and I was just trying to maintain like a healthy weight. And like Yvonne said, I was going through a breakup, so that was my motivation. But I mean, eventually, like you get over breakups, so eventually you lose that motivation. And so I kind of lost that motivation, and it got to like a week we weren't working out, and it finally crossed my mind, and I was like, oh well, it's been a week. Like there's no point in continuing now. I've already lost like a lot of progress. Might as well just focus on like my new job and try and get better at that. And then here I was in October wishing I had stayed working out, even if it meant like just missing that 1 week.
Mhm.
I would give anything to go back and be consistent about it. But here I am 6 months later, and now I'm deciding to pick up on working out again. So it wasn't the fact that I was like, it wasn't the time that ruined it for me. It was just I wasn't motivated enough.
So you said right now, currently, your motivation is football?
My motivation is a lot of things. I want to be richer. I want to be happier. I want to be better looking.
What'd you say you want to be? What was the first word?
Richer, more rich. If you're gonna sit here and say, "Oh, that's not a word," I swear to God.
I wasn't gonna say anything. I thought you said Richard. I was like, who's Richard? Why do you want to be him?
Who the fuck is Richard?
That's what I
want to be
know.
Richard.
So I was like, who the fuck is Richard?
Oh my
And what's
God.
so good about Richard? I wanted to
You're
clarify.
like, who is this guy?
Wanted to make sure I didn't hear the word Richard.
That's freaking hilarious.
But I just want to
Oh
be like,
man, that's freaking
I just want to
funny.
be better at like everything. Like in talking with that Kobe Bryant podcast, I started listening to like so much shit. And there's like all week I've been watching like a bunch of podcasts, shit from like a bunch of successful people. You know,
Right.
whether it's Kobe Bryant, businessmen, like everybody who's successful in their expertise. Because I just want to like, you know, kind of get what are they doing that makes them so good at what they do.
Right.
So I listened to them, and then there was like a lot of the time when people work out, they like try to jump cold water into that shit, like cold turkey. You know, like one day they're
Right.
eating fast food, the next day they're, you know, working out 3 hours a day, eating nothing but fruits and vegetables, and they think they can maintain that because they think that they have the motivation to. And that was me for the longest time. And like, realistically, I probably did have the motivation one day, but motivation with me fluctuates. Like, I get unmotivated from this. So I was like, how could I make that? That's bullshit. How could I make this easier on me? And it's like I fuck up on the diet. Last week I ate like 3 days back to back to back of fast food. And usually for me that would have been like the giving up point, like okay, time to give up and restart. But I think now I kind of look at it as like, okay, well I fucked up there, what could I do better to avoid that fuck up again in the future? And then I was listening to this podcast while I was at work today, and they talked about like most people like try to be like 100% better by a certain time. Like I'm gonna lose 30 pounds in like 3 months. Like that's a lot of people's goals. And then they said just take it like 1% at a time. So like instead of being 30 pounds lighter in 3 months, let's try to be 2 pounds lighter by the end of the week for consistency, consistent amount of days, and then you meet that goal. And it's like you get frustrated when your weight isn't what you want it to be. Let's say you lose maybe 5 pounds in 3 weeks. You get frustrated because you're not moving to that big goal fast enough. So if you set like maybe lose 2 pounds a week, and you get those goals, and you're happy with yourself. Your self-esteem is going up. Your confidence is going up. Reaching your goals. You're not gonna want to give up on something if you're succeeding at it. So I think I'm gonna start taking it like maybe 2 pounds a week. Because my goal right now is I'm trying to get down to like 160, and I'm trying to get back up to muscle to like 180. So I'm trying to get down to 160 by I think what, May 20th. And I've started allowing. I used to never allow like cheat days. I always thought like cheat days were for people who like just didn't have the motivation to get through it. So I started allowing cheat days.
Right.
Like, if I allow a cheat day, maybe I won't eat back to back to back fast food for 3 days in a row.
No, I 100% agree with that, dude. When I did my diet, I had to have a cheat day. Because my hardest thing to get over for myself was like, I always felt like
Food.
I was working too hard, and I was like, dude, I got a good job, I make pretty decent money, like, and I'm doing all this for what? So that I can go home and have a fucking piece of bread for dinner? You know what I mean? Like, obviously not
Right.
bread, but like that's how it felt. Like it was like, dude,
I
feel
got a
like
lot
I'm
of bread.
a prisoner and shit. And so I was like,
Yeah,
I was like, nah, dude, I need to be able to actually freaking eat like some good food. Like I've earned it. And so I had to have a cheat day, dude. Like that kept me sane sometimes, was being able to, dude, today's a tough day. I'm gonna give myself a cheat day today. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree with that too, because I feel like that's why I'm more okay with not being in perfect shape anymore. Because I like being able to eat whatever the fuck I want. I eat whatever I want, bro, and I don't have a problem with it. I love life. yeah, I could be in better shape, but I think what's most important to me now is just a matter of health. You know, like, because if I'm healthy and I can eat like that, awesome. Now I'm not saying like anyone should go out there and start stuffing your face with Twinkies and shit, because obviously that's not good for you. So I'm mindful of
And
that.
what's the point of this podcast?
You got
Wait, what do you mean?
You got you there.
Like, what's the point
What
of
do
the
you mean?
podcast if after this podcast I can't go eat Twinkies?
Okay.
Like,
Well, I
jeez,
mean, you
dude.
can have a couple,
A couple,
but
dude.
shit,
Dude,
don't eat the whole box.
Bro, that's the problem that I have though, dude. When I get like food like that, like ice cream, dude, I'll eat the whole fucking box, or I'll eat the whole ice cream carton, dude. Like no joke, dude. And like sometimes, dude, especially if I stay up late, oh, dude, if Felicia has a carton too, nah, she don't have a carton no more. I just got a second one.
Oh shit.
Like it's bad, dude.
Yeah, that's bad.
That's why sometimes like cheat days, you have to be a little careful with your cheat days. 'Cause if
Oh,
you're
yeah,
not, if you're not, you'll fuck yourself up.
Oh yeah, it's so quick. You can eat those calories just like instantly, dude. It happens so fast.
Yeah, dude, so. But yeah,
Well-
I have that huge problem. So, Yvonne, if you had to tell somebody right now, somebody came to you and said, "Hey, I wanna do better. Like I wanna be better at, I don't know, just something." They just said, "Hey, I want to be better at something." What would be like the top 3 things that you would tell them? Top 3, only 3 things. If you said, "Hey, if you want to be good, you have to start by doing these 3 things first."
I would say the top 3 things I think that you would have to do
Oh, sorry, hold on.
to be successful about something is.
Did I just knock
what?
you off the thing?
Dude, yeah.
We both jumped.
Okay, so I think, in my opinion, the top 3 things that you would need to be successful about something. 1 is to have a plan. You have to have a plan, which means you got to think it through. It's not just some basic, oh yeah, we're gonna do this and that, and then just kind of wing it. I think to truly be successful about something, you think about everything. Now, when I say everything, I mean about having a plan that's structured. So you know which things you need to think about. You're not just like overwhelming yourself with all these thoughts. You know the basis of your plan and the details of it. And then 2, I think you have to have a certain type of personality, or maybe not even personality, but like a characteristic. You have to be kind of obsessive. Like what Kobe was saying in the last podcast that we did. I totally agree with that, because if you're not obsessive, you're not going to think about the details. You're just going to see the big picture, but you're not going to see all the steps that it takes to actually get there. You know what I mean? And then number 3, I would say the third one for me would be discipline. You got to be disciplined. Because if you don't have that, then there's not really anything you'll ever be successful in, I think. If you don't have discipline, you can't get yourself to do anything, even if you don't want to do it. How are you ever going to get anywhere?
Yeah. So top 3 was, what was it again? So it was have a plan, discipline, and what was the second one?
I think you need to have
Be
a plan.
obsessed.
You need to be obsessive
Okay.
and be disciplined. And I think with those 3 things, you could do anything you set your mind to. And with that, what do you think people lose having those qualities? Because I know sometimes it's hard to be disciplined for everyone because people feel like they're gonna miss out on something else, or they feel like they're sacrificing too much here or too much there.
Anyways, I don't know, man. Like, I think it depends on what you want to do too, and I think that's the other part too. Is like, I don't want people people shouldn't just hear like, oh man, all these stories only have something to do with athletics or whatever like that. Like motivation, like all this stuff that we're talking about can translate to anything. It can translate to gaming. It can translate to like shit. I don't know. If you want to be the best at freaking sitting on the couch watching movies, and you want to be able to say, hey, I've watched every movie you could possibly watch. I want to tell you all about every single movie. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But, like,
honestly, like at first, like someone might listen to that and think, "Oh, well, that's stupid. Why would anyone want to do that?" Well, this is why you need to have a plan. Okay, like why would you want to do that? Are you trying to make a podcast too, or are you trying to make like a review channel where you tell everyone your opinions on certain movies or whatever? You know what I mean? So there's more than meets the eye if you just make a plan for it. It could be anything. You go ahead and continue. I didn't mean to cut you off there, but I totally agree.
No, I
with
think
what
you did.
You know what?
This guy does this on
I'm
a
an
daily
obsessive
basis.
liar.
Yeah, I think it's translate to like that's. I just want people to understand that like we're not just limiting this to what we specifically are motivated to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can do anything. You just have to put these kinds of things towards it. And I think there's so much that goes into being motivated. But like most of all, I think you said you have to be obsessive. Like I 100% agree with that one. To be obsessed with whatever it is you want to do. And like for me at least, I don't know if it's the same way for you guys, but it's like anything that I try to do, I always want to be the best at it. Like that's part of what motivates me whenever I do stuff. Is I'm like, man, if I'm going to do something, what's the point of doing it if I'm not trying to be the best one to do it?
So competitiveness.
Right.
Yeah, like being competitive.
Yep.
Because I don't understand a point. Like if you're not going to do it like that, then what's the point? You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Why half-ass it?
Exactly. And I think that's one thing too. Like, because I get a lot of people who will ask me like, oh, are you going to try to get your son into football and all this stuff? And it's like, I always tell him like, I'm not gonna get my son into anything. I want him to do whatever he loves, because that's one thing I really appreciate about what mine and Kota's parents did for us is they didn't force us to do stuff. Like they didn't force us into something that we didn't want to do. You know what I mean? And like you hear about that all the time, like the parents who are like, oh man, you have to do this because it's something I enjoy. You know what I mean?
Like you're supposed to be this guy or this person, and they never actually listen.
Oh, you need to follow the family legacy. The family legacy, this. But it's like I always want people to understand, like it's at least with my son. Like I always just tell people, like, hey, I want him to do whatever's going to make him happy. My only thing for him is this: if he chooses whatever he chooses to do, he better choose to do it and be the best at what he's trying to do. Like I just want him to, like, if he decides he wants to play freaking trumpet and that's his favorite thing to do, then I don't care. But you better be the best damn trumpet player this whole world's fucking seen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you're not aiming to do that, then what's the point? Like that's the biggest thing I want from my son is I just want him to understand, like, if you're gonna do something, do it 110%, give it everything you've got, and have a reason. Like, don't just do it because of like, I don't care if I'm the best. Well, then why the hell are you doing it? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I think that's a tough thing for people to get to, because this is where like personalities and shit like that kind of comes in, because everyone's different, and some people, they don't care to be the best. They want to be in the back, they want to kind of hide in the shadows a little bit. So I guess you just kind of hope, that your kids kind of end up being the same way as you and super competitive. But what do you do? Like, what would you do if that was the case? If your kid, your son or your daughter ended up being a little more like in the background, and they don't really want to put themselves out there that much. So in other words, like they're not into the whole competitiveness thing or trying to be the best. Like, would you push that on them? Like trying to be more motivated and whatnot, or we're still kind of just let them like be who they want to be?
I don't think that I would ever.
Good
like,
question, right?
Yeah, it's a tough thing. Like I think it's just kind of one of those things where it's more like of a reactive thing. Like you'd have to actually be in that situation to know exactly what you would do.
Right.
Because I'm like, you know, it's easy for me to stand here and say, oh, I would never force my son to do something like, you know, if he doesn't want to be competitive and playing trumpet, I'm not going to force him to. But like, it's easy to say, anybody can say that so that they don't look bad. But it's like, I'm not going to stand here and say, yeah, I'd never force my son to do that stuff. When it's like, I don't know for sure that that's what I do. Because, and you know, my nature is I'm competitive. I'm ultra competitive. And so for me to just sit back and be like, oh, it's okay, son, go ahead and just go have fun, go win yourself a participation medal. Like, fuck no.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Hell
like,
yeah.
Like I'm happy that you're happy doing something you love, and I'm happy for that. But you know, all I'm asking is give it your all. If you truly love it, then you're gonna do whatever you can to be the best at it. Otherwise, do you really love it? Like if you're not obsessed with it and you're not trying to do something with it, like do you really actually love it? You know what I mean?
Right. I agree with that too. Like I wouldn't push it on him so hard that like I'm an asshole. But in the long run, I think it would help a lot. You know, because when you're competitive, just like you said, you kind of... Oh, great. When you're competitive and you try to be really good at something, it's also like fulfilling. It makes you happier. It feels good to like accomplish things or set records or break records or whatever it is. So I don't have kids yet. But when I do, like, I think I'm definitely gonna like encourage them to try and be the best, you know, or at least do their best.
Right.
And then, you know, again, just see where it goes from there.
Like, give it the best
Let
you
them bloom.
can. Like, you know, like, and I think that's the other part too. Is I'm not saying like, okay, giving your best and coming in second place, in my opinion, is not like, I'm not saying like, oh, if my son comes in second place, I'm gonna beat his ass when he gets home. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want people to understand. Like, I'm saying like, just try your best. Like, don't go out there and give it half-assed and all that stuff and be afraid to fail. Like, just go out there and give it your best. If you take second place, that's fine. You know, just learn from it and get better. Like, that's what it's about. It's just about getting better. It's not always about just becoming the best at what you do. You know what I mean? I think it's about giving your best. Like, give it your all. You know, don't walk around with your head down going, oh man, like I suck because I took second or third. You should still feel proud, even if you lose. Still feel good in the effort that you gave. As long as you gave it your all, you should have nothing to feel bad about anyway.
I agree. So Kota, what's something that you've gone through that you feel like you could have tried harder, or if you had done this or that, you would have been able to accomplish it?
Honestly, probably like the entirety of my like childhood.
What do you mean the entirety of your childhood?
I mean, I started football when I was 7 years old. I stopped when I was 13. But when I was 13, I was better than almost any other 13-year-old I knew. I was out there playing with like Alex's semi-pro team, practicing. And I feel like had I not walked away from that, I probably would have been in my opinion, the best in the family.
Oh my god.
Ooh. There we go. There's a jab right there. Alex, how do you feel about that?
I just want to say, I don't know if anyone's been watching.
I like that.
This feed of me destroying him, but I think you should consider that before you thinks anything like that.
If I would have kept the football, I would have been better than Alex in practice. If I would have kept the basketball, I would have been better than Alex in practice. If I would have kept working hard in school, I would have been the smartest in the family. And I have like zero questionability about that. Like, I know Alex works hard, but I'd been doing it for so long, and I'm at that point now where like I can understand the game, like how it works and every single play and everything like that.
I think what would
and I can also
like
participate.
You know, I think what just happened right there on camera is probably what would happen in real life. But
oh my God, you're lucky I did take that 3-year break.
Because
you're barely beating me in basketball right now.
Because you said that, I had to just take you out like that. All right, I had to make sure that everybody understood that you could try your best. But what is it that Kobe says? I wanted you to know that no matter how hard you tried, you'll never be better than me.
Yeah, well, I don't even have to try to be better than you.
Well, okay, so I want to ask you, like, so why do you think you would have been better?
Because I was just simply better. There's no other way to put it. I mean, I was out there working with, how old was Alex at the time? I'm 13. I'm 18 right now. Alex, what? You're like 94. Alex is what, 8 years older than me, I think. So I was 13 out there playing with like 18 to 20-year-olds. Like I'm not even fully grown yet. I'm an 8th grade kid practicing with full-grown adults, and I'm not even the worst player on the field. I have zero doubt in my head that if I wouldn't have like just decided like, okay, well maybe football isn't what I love, then I wouldn't have been better than anybody.
I get that.
So what are 3 things that you think if you had at that time would have like helped you keep going?
I think if, like you said,
If
you
I
gotta
wasn't
have
born.
you gotta have the plan. I'll give Alex credit where it's due. He's the one who got me on football, but he shouldn't have done that because now I'm gonna be better than you.
To get Kota to be the best, the only thing that would have had to have been done is me not be born.
Yeah, bullshit.
That's
So
his
you
only
can thank
hope.
your dad
It
for
doesn't
it.
matter. I mean, let's get off the motivational topic. I want people to understand, no matter how hard you work, if you're not that good, I'm sorry, but
Look, I get you're trying to be the best, but you still gotta pass Braxton to even be there.
oh my gosh, that dude don't want
You're
to
in
see
second
me.
place right now.
So
That
it
guy
sounds
can't
like
wait
your whole
wanna see
family is
me.
kind of into football then.
And I know that he'll watch this, and I know he knows too that he doesn't want to see me out there on the field. All right.
I hope Braxton's watching this, so I hope Braxton and I will both go out on that field in court, kick your ass, and put you down to where you actually know you are.
Ooh, man, this is
All I can say
really
is
funny.
this, all right? When it comes down to it, I'm out there doing stuff with football. And you guys are sitting on the couch, dreaming about it.
Oh, bullshit, sitting on the couch. Braxton's fucking shredded. Like, I give admiration. Like, Alex is good at football, but Braxton's fucking shredded.
Which is fine, but I mean, it's like
No way he's out there just...
people have this
shit.
this thing of it's like, oh, it's like people who fight. You think you're good at boxing because if you have muscles, that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't relate to football.
It's not even just that. Braxton, like I said, I gave up on football for 3-4 years. I came back and I still had the fundamentals to where most people still don't. Braxton had the fundamentals. Braxton's a freak athlete.
Yeah, he's a very freak athlete, and I'll 100% say it. Braxton would out-jump me, outrun me, outdo all that stuff, but that's the thing that...
In terms of fundamentals, you're the best.
That football is not a game of just physicality. Like, you could be as strong and as fast as you want. It doesn't matter. That's why a lot of NFL players
But that's
don't
what
succeed.
I'm saying is Braxton has the fundamentals. Braxton has the... Braxton, until you prove
How
it,
does this guy get up?
I've seen Braxton school us both countless times. And until you prove it, Braxton's still number 1.
That's, in my opinion, I think Braxton has to prove it to me because I proved it. I'm a first-team All-Pro football player and semi-pro. What does Braxton have that says that he's better? He doesn't have a first-team All-Pro.
Because he's never tried to go
He's
all pro.
played one season in semi-pro.
At what, high school age? In semi-pro at high school age? He hasn't proved it to you?
That doesn't mean
And
anything.
who's
Hey, Justin
who's
Bieber
one
was
of
a
the better
star
players on that
at
field?
how old was Justin Bieber? Like 12 or something?
12 years old and he
So
was a star. You're gonna tell me
Does that mean
he
that
has to
he's
prove it?
the greatest singer or pop star of all time? Hell no.
I'm not saying Braxton's the greatest.
Braxton's a lot like
saying,
Justin
you won
Bieber.
all
Braxton
pro.
had the potential to be great, but the problem is that he stopped and he gave up, just like Justin Bieber did. Now Justin's trying to make a comeback. But I'm sorry, but his music's not the same. It's not the same as when he was younger.
Okay.
That
well,
pause,
if you think
that
you're
delay,
the best isn't afraid of the challenge. So why don't you challenge Braxton then? Let's see it.
I'll challenge Braxton just like I'm challenging you right now.
Okay, then I want you to directly challenge him.
Braxton,
I'll kick
if you
your
are
ass. I'll
watching
gladly
this,
kick your
I will cover him 1v1, dude, and he can cover me, and I'll fucking annihilate anyone, any fucking person.
You're confident, but you're also
And I'm fucking
like,
bad.
arrogant. You're
I'm
like the most
fucking
arrogant
bad.
person.
That's why I'm called the big shitter. Thanks for
You
watching.
talk this shit before a basketball game, then you get on the court and you're like, dude, I can't stop Braxton. What do you expect me to do?
I'll admit, Braxton's way better than me at basketball, but I've never been that great at basketball.
All right. So just side note, I'm gonna like pause for a second. What's our timing on this podcast so far?
Your
I'm
ass.
not fucking worried about it.
Anyways, what were we talking about? Oh yeah. So if I just would have kept working at football, I would have been the best. No question about it. Zero question about it.
See, that's
I
what
was
I
schooling
like,
Alex
dude.
when I was 10 years old.
See, one thing that I fucking do, dude, and you can ask Felicia, dude. I was telling her this today, dude. I get so fucking hungry for competition, man. That's why I decided, oh man, I want to do competitive or creative instead of jumping into fucking what's it called, dude? Because like, I sometimes start itching for fucking competition.
I think it's something a lot of like our family has is competition. Is the competition. I don't know
So
if
who
it's
do you
just
get it
me,
from?
but like, I think it's just like Alex said. Kobe Bryant was like a huge part. Like I believe you can pick up on competitiveness. Like, you won't automatically born the ultimate competitor. I think you pick it up, and definitely sports helps with picking that shit up. But oof.
Yeah, I don't know
I
where
think-
I get it from, but I'm very aggressive, very confident, and very competitive.
Like I love to talk shit. I don't know.
So what
I'm
about
pretty
people
sure-
who aren't? You know
who
what I
aren't
mean? Like,
competitive?
if there's somebody watching this now and they're like, they want to do everything you just said. Like they want to be that person you just described. How do they get there?
Competitive, hard work. I think it's sacrifice. Sacrifice, have a plan. What the fuck? Not determination. Yvonne said it earlier. I forgot the fucking
Discipline?
word. Though. Discipline. You gotta have discipline. You gotta be willing to sacrifice. You gotta have discipline. And you gotta have an idea of what you want. Because I mean, if you want to be, you know, the ultimate competitor, like Alex and I are talking about, being the best in the family, you can't do that and sit on the couch and eat potato chips at the same time. You're gonna have to give up one or the other. It's about sacrifice. But you're also gonna need to be disciplined because if you're doing it maybe once a week, like what Kobe Bryant said, you're doing it. Some kids are out there playing basketball 2 times a week, a few hours a time. That's 4 hours a week. But if you're out there playing basketball an hour a day every day, you know, you have 3 hours on them if it's that week. So you gotta have discipline. You gotta have an idea what you want. And you gotta be willing to sacrifice.
Pretty kick ass, man. So I think just to kind of wrap things up, what are some goals that you're working on right now?
You talking to me or Alex or all of us?
Yeah, all of us. I'm kind of trying to round mine up right now. One of mine is like,
Well, I think that's an issue. If you don't know your goals off the top of your head, then do you have any?
well, I'm trying to list 3, and my main one, because I don't want to spread myself out thin. My main one is like 6-figure income. The second one is a podcast. And I think that's probably it, honestly. Probably just top 2. I feel like 2 and 3 is a sweet spot. If you get more than 3, then you're just doing too much. You're not really all in, you're all over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think mine is
I can
definitely got to
agree
be
with
football for sure. I have my football season coming up, so football definitely. Because I don't know, football, I'm just like right now. I feel like I put a lot of pressure on myself because I'm like, man, how do I follow up being a first team All Pro? Like, it's time to really go out there and see what I can do. So I'm like, for me right now, it's like it's a championship or fucking bust, dude. So, second thing would be, I'd say online stuff, because I think it's more than just the podcast. Like, I want to do the podcast really well, but I also want to be able to do the gaming stuff really well.
All right.
So.
And Kota, what about you?
Well, third.
Damn. All right.
I only picked two.
That's rough as fuck. Well,
What's your third?
The third one, and probably the most important one, is I honestly just want to try to be a better family guy, because I know sometimes I get really caught up in a lot of my like goals, like football and stuff like that, and then I lose sight of like things that are important, like wife, kids, and I have a tendency to like, I don't know how to say it. Like I get what the frick is the word I use? Tunnel vision. I get tunnel vision sometimes, and I just forget to pay attention. I guess is that what the right word? So just being a better father and a husband. So those are my three.
And Kota, what are yours?
Oh, hold on. Let me cut you off. Go ahead, Kota.
Okay.
Look, I'm not gonna say Alex doesn't deserve the mic, but I think we all know who everyone wants to listen to on this podcast. Yvonne, why don't you take it away?
Oh.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm just fucking. Number one goal. I don't know how to phrase it. Like, it's gonna sound really stupid, but honestly, like, Alex wants to be a better family guy. I just want to be a better person in general. Like, I think one of the best things, like, about most people is when, like, they're successful and, you know, they're still good. They're still good people. That makes sense?
Right. So it's like kind of like humble,
Yeah.
right? They have good
Yeah,
attitudes.
they're
They don't
humble.
treat you like you're less.
Yeah. You know, I want to be a better guy. That's my first goal. Second goal, I want to get to where I want to be with, like, how I, how the fuck do I say it? Because, like, it's like a two-part goal. Does that make sense? You know how I was talking about, I want to lose weight and then I want to put it back on with muscle.
Right.
So I just want to get to where I want to be in terms of, like, physically.
All right, guys. I think that's pretty much gonna wrap up our episode. We hope that you guys liked what you heard, or if any of this can actually help you, please let us know. This is Yvonne, Kota, and Alex, and what we talk about. We'll see you on the next episode.
I go by Combe, but thanks though. Appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe, like our Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Kota posts clips on TikTok all the time, so the best clips. So check those out, and we'll catch you guys on the 4th episode, because next episode we are live in person. It's going to be dope, so we will see you guys live in person. Deuces.
Let it.